Hello, my name is Tanner Lichfield. I am an investor based here in Utah, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the first 3 wholesale deals in my inbox. Now with this video, I'm hoping that it's gonna help you become better at doing quick napkin math to see if a deal is worth diving into further. So with that being said, these wholesale deals are all cash flip deals, which is common in the wholesale world. And with wholesalers, the rumor is that most deals don't make sense. So by the end of this video, you're gonna see if that's true or not. And number 2, you're gonna become a whole lot better at doing some napkin math for these deals yourself. I'll add one thing that I think it's extremely smart to analyze a ton of deals before you actually pull the trigger on one. And that way you're a lot more confident in numbers. So we're gonna start with the first one. This property is in a decent area that I know well. And so if I'm estimating numbers, that's the reason behind it, is because I know the area. So the asking price on this one is 400 grand. Now in the actual email, they are saying that the ARV is $660,000. I know this area well. I know it's not near close to that. I'm thinking $600,000 is generous. So for that, we're gonna put an ARV after repair value, $600,000. So when you first look at this, there's a 200K spread. It looks pretty good, right? So now we're gonna work backwards on our napkin math and show where all the costs start incurring. So after you sell a property, there's gonna be closing costs, right? You gotta pay a realtor. Even if I'm the listing agent, I'm still gonna pay a buyer's agent, and there's gonna be some closing costs attached. And so we'll take the benefit of the doubt. For my scenario, I can list my own property. So I'll put selling costs 5%, which equates to $30,000. I can't do math that fast. Now, another thing that people don't realize is when you do a flip, most people that are doing flips use hard money. And hard money is not cheap. It's typically at 12% and at least a point or 2 up front. And so what does that look like? Usually this is how my hard money lender does it. And so you can get a couple quotes, but I'm gonna give you a brief rundown of that. Before we begin into hard money, let's do rehab. After looking at pictures and understanding rehabs a decent amount, I'm not a pro, but after doing several projects, I am estimating that it's gonna be about $35 a square foot on this one, and it's 3,500 square feet. So I'm gonna put it at roughly $120,000 for the remodel, and then now hard money. With hard money, what happens with my lender is they're gonna include the rehab and the asking price, and then I'm gonna put 85%, or I'm gonna put 15% down. And so the loan is gonna be 85% of 120 plus 400K, which is 520. So let's call my discount points at 1 or 2%. And I'm gonna say that this project is gonna take 6 months total. It's a decent cosmetic rehab. We're gonna say 4 months for the remodel, 2 months to sell it, and we're gonna put that at 6 months. So when you add that up, I've already done my homework on the side, so you can do it. I put that at roughly $30,000 hard money at $30,000. That's a lot, especially when you're thinking of these margins here, right? And so when you incorporate your selling costs, your hard money costs, your rehab, on a quick napkin math, this 200K margin slowly disappears. Now there's only $20,000 potential profit. But in a world of rehabs and flips, that can vanish in one instant. If the electrical needs to be fixed up more than you originally thought, if the roof needs to be fixed up more than you originally thought, that can kill your deal. Or if the project goes 2 months longer than you originally anticipated, now you're paying a lot more in hard money costs. You gotta pay an extension fee of another 1%. It adds up, and it's almost always more expensive than you think. So would I take on a deal for a 20K profit with these margins? The answer is no. Like, I don't want to take as much risk as that. I could lose 20 grand pretty easily. So I don't like this deal. I'm going to go on to the next one. But that's the point of napkin math, right? So now I'm going to go to the second wholesale deal that came across my inbox. This one is in an excellent area. We're going to throw up the numbers. The asking price is 550 grand. And the ARV is 700 grand. For this one, I think the ARV is actually on par, and so I'm gonna go about my business. Now, another thing to watch out in these wholesale emails is sometimes they'll put their rehab in there. Never trust the rehab. For this one, they said it's gonna cost about 50 grand for a remodel. I think that's far off. I think a very, very generous rehab amount for this is gonna be 80 grand. So we'll call it 80 grand rehab. And we're gonna do that same equation, right? For hard money. This is gonna be a much faster remodel. And so instead of 6 months on the hard money, it's gonna be about 2 months to remodel, 2 months to sell. So my hard money costs are around 25K. And then my selling costs are 35 grand. Okay, so now what does that put me at? My profit, anticipated profit on this one is going to be right at $10,000. Now, is this a deal worth exploring? No. On my quick napkin math, which I am being generous with 80 grand rehab, there is no shot I'm gonna take the risk for a $10,000 profit because I know from previous experience that that $10,000 can turn into a $40,000 loss really quick. So we're 0 for 2 right now. Last one, hopefully is better. Okay, this one is a condo in downtown Salt Lake City. They are asking 180 grand, and their numbers, they put this in the email that the ARV is $220,000. Now keep in mind, when they're quick rehabs, the margins shrink a lot more. And they actually put their rehab in here as well. And they put their rehab at 30 grand. This is probably another 4-month project, quick in and out. And so the hard money costs 7 grand, hard money, and then another 11,000 in selling costs to pay realtors and closing costs. So that leaves us right off the bat, that leaves us with a minus profit. So not minus or not profit, more like a loss. With the information that they provided me, this is an $8,000 loss. Wholesale deals are almost always terrible deals. So how do you solve that issue? Well, how do you solve that issue? You find your own deals. It's extremely hard to find deals that make sense in today's market, and that's why you get paid to find your own deals. I hope what you learned from this video is number 1, how to do some napkin math, and number 2, don't trust wholesale deals. Number 3, and most importantly, is to learn how to find your own deals if you want to make it in the investment space. That's all I have for you today. Hopefully you learned something. Make sure you subscribe and follow me along for the journey.